Happy Easter! Reverend Jack has asked that we begin today's service by singing hymn 191, Once to Every Soul and Nation. But we're going to sing it to a different tune, which I think you'll recognize, so please sing along.
Once to every soul and nation comes the moment to decide. In the strife of truth with falsehood, for the good or evil side, and to stand with truth is noble when we share its wretched cross. Ere that cause bring fame and profit, and is prosperous to be just. Though the cause of evil prosper, yet is truth alone is strong. Though its portion be the scaffold, and upon the throne be wrong, then it is the brave one chooses, while the coward stands aside, till the multitude make virtue of the faith they have denied.
Good morning. Welcome to our Easter Sunday service. All of us here with you this morning are at home, just like you. We are maintaining the necessary physical distancing that will move us through our pandemic safely. And we may hope, I believe, that this breaking of routine will allow and even compel some deep reflection that will enrich our spirits, that sense of awareness and appreciation of all of our relationships. If you are in a garden, as I am this morning, I'd say you are in the right place for Easter, as living things once again resurrect and bring forth flowers and fruit. To symbolize our devotion to the parallel human task of growing and flowering, I'd like you to visualize a chalice lamp here with us. Instead, I have tomatoes turning red right beside me and offering the flame for the day. Our chalice usually signifies both our quest for greater understanding and our quest for greater communion, for greater truth, for greater love, and for the light shining from the two of them. For this morning, I've only received one joy and concern. It's from Scott Williams. Scott is one of our veterans whom we celebrated last November. He has been temporarily called to duty in a naval hospital overseas and would appreciate our positive thoughts to help bring him and his comrades back safely in August. Our thoughts and prayers are with you, Scott, and all those you'll be serving with. The rest of us, you are welcome to email special personal joys and concerns through the week to me or at the office that we might share during our online service. You can send them to the church email address if you'd like. Just a few words for the children about Easter. Easter is the name that ancient peoples gave to the powers and the laws of nature, to Mother Earth and Father Sun, that bring forth springtime every year. What comes forth in springtime? Yes, leaves, flowers, new baby critters, bunnies, chicks. Easter is the blessing of life in the world, new life coming into the world. This new life happens with people too. One of humankind's special new life stories is of a young man named Jesus, who lived a long time ago, before cars and telephones and electric lights. When Jesus looked at the world in springtime, right around the Jewish holy day of Passover that we're celebrating now, he saw all the new life blossoming and being born bright and beautiful. He realized that everything in the world is full of the power it needs to be the best it can be. He called that power grace. It's in everything, including you. Jesus used the power in him to help people, and he asked everyone else to help too. That was his whole message. You have great power. Use it well to make life good. We all have that choice to help one another or to just help ourselves. That is our question. One prayer for Easter might be, may we help all newborn things grow and use their powers well. Plants of all kinds, critters of all kinds, people of all kinds. To help them all, may we be kind. Now, Allison is going to share 2 readings for us.
Good morning. It's lovely to be here with you on this day in our garden where there's birds you can hear and there's bees and there's butterflies and it's nature's blessing in this kind of crazy time. So anyway, I'm going to do our readings for the day. And the first reading comes from the Gospel from Jesus in Nazareth. And this is his message to us on this day. Now from the Gospels, what Jesus said for Easter was this: go forth and help the people grow to understand how to forgive and to purify and to repoint to the better way of the good news, that all are full of grace and all can bless the world. And then we have a second reading, which is a prayer for spring by the poet Robert Frost. Oh, give us pleasure in the flowers today, and give us not to think so far away as an uncertain harvest. Keep us here all simply in the springing of this year. Oh, give us pleasure in the orchard white, like nothing else by day, like ghosts by night. And make us happy in the happy bees, the swarm dilating round the perfect trees. And make us happy in the darting bird that suddenly above the bees is heard, the meteor that thrusts in with needle bill and off a blossom in midair stands still. For this is love and nothing else is love, the which it is reserved for powers above to sanctify to what far ends they will, but which it only needs that we fulfill. Happy Easter.
Thank you, Allison. You may have heard a really big bee going overhead just a minute ago. I have some reflections to share with you for Easter Sunday and for springtime, the middle of springtime. You might remember the Monty Python movie, The Life of Brian. There's a very famous line in it where somebody is listening to Brian preaching, and he is speaking the Beatitudes, sharing the Beatitudes that he'd heard Jesus share. So Brian has spoken about the peacemakers, and somebody says, "Blessed are the cheesemakers." Did he say, "Blessed are the cheesemakers"? That has become a pretty classic line. But did Jesus say, "Blessed are the cheesemakers"? Sure. If there were cheesemakers in Israel or anywhere else, he saw them as blessed, able to contribute to the well-being of other people, just as could the peacekeepers, whom he might have called blessed also. just as he thought anybody had the power to bless if they chose. That was his view of reality. And as to morality, Jesus' question was, will they choose to bless? Robert Frost's poem, Prayer for Spring, is that we will do what we need to do at this moment with love. Like the birds, the bees, the blossoms, put love into life. Enjoy it. Pleasure in it. Be happy in the blooming and buzzing of it. That is the poet's insight of how our life's buzzing and blooming transcends confusion. This is the purposeful ordering of life and of understanding above anarchy and above chaos, to do now what is to be done wholeheartedly. Neither blossom, nor bird, nor bee, nor we need be present or certain in the perennially uncertain harvest in the future. We only need be present and active in the springing of our year and each new day. That doesn't mean we are free of responsibility for purposing and planning the work of the present moment with the future harvest in mind. Others before us planted this orchard, and they did not worry about being here now in what was the future to them. Theirs to harvest earlier orchards and to plant future orchards for us to harvest, even as we plant for the future to harvest. That is the order of life. Our hymn this morning proclaimed that once to every soul and nation comes the moment to decide in the strife of truth with falsehood for the good or evil side. That was a great call by the famed Unitarian abolitionist poet James Russell Lowell at a time when our souls and nation had a great decision to make about slavery. But also in the gospel reading, Jesus emphasized forgiveness and repointing or reorienting, knowing that all through life we'll keep learning better ways to bless wider circles of relationship. Often we do not know what we do or why, regretting it even as we see ourselves do it. So forgiveness is necessary. The point is, the decisions for the good or evil side come through life in as varied forms as the creatures of the earth. Not just once, but over and over, we must forgive an old waywardness and repoint onto a better way. The good news is that an eternal stream of energy is there to empower us to go and to grow. Whether you have peace or cheese to give, give it, even to strangers, for you have been a stranger in a strange land yourself, so you should know. And give even to the land of strangers, for your land has been estranged and needed an open heart and mind to help. Sometimes it is the sharing of bread and cheese, especially when giver and receiver sit and eat together, that brings the sharing of peace. Yes, America first, on the principle that you care first for the needs you see and that touch your heart directly. But also caring for those unseen, who are affected by the systems of earthkind that we share, in and for whom also grows the uncertain harvest. Perhaps Jesus' greatest Eastering gift to his disciples was the caring act of high expectations and trust in their capacity to serve and care for life. Can we extend that expectation to every soul and nation as he required? How can we come to such a trust? Another day for that question, but the answer would be the Jubilee Day, the same as the good news proclaimed in hard times by Isaiah and later in hard times by Jesus. In a new way, a new day, and then God could take a rest. So I take one lesson from spring and Easter to be that life is never a matter of just once, unto every soul and nation. In his final teaching in the final gospel written 3 or 4 generations after Jesus, so remembered for a very long time, is his highest call. Serve, he said. Take care as you would of me, your brother, yourself. If we could have gathered this Easter day, we each would have brought a flower in turn, to in turn be gathered and shared in flower communion. We can do that symbolically. Each holding up their blossom to symbolize the beauty and the ways of life. It would not be the first time an uplifted flower led the way to enlightenment. Easter and springtide bring us to a transcending way. Take pleasure in the flowers today and in the work that precedes the uncertain harvest. That allows love to be fulfilled even in enclosed and dark times, and it lets Easter have a prayer.
I'm so glad to get to say hello to you. So I got dressed, I curled my hair, and I put on earrings. I talked to Michael Kaloran about making this little segment, and when I hung up, I was like, oh, I need to make sure that I stay 6 feet back from the camera. And I was like, no, I don't. That's people, not cameras. Anyway, I wish that I could see you all. I think on Sunday we would be having our Easter parade, and I can see us all with our masks on, made out of bandanas and socks and hair ties. Carol Ulmer with her fancy one that she made when she dusted off her 4-H sewing machine. So I'm not gonna lie, the other day I had a little crying jag. When it really sunk in with me, we had to cancel the trip for the grandkids to come out, and our daughter Camille, who lives in Tampa, I just don't know if we're gonna see her anytime soon. And it's so beautiful outside that it just seems like nothing could be wrong. But of course, something is wrong. So Mike and I were talking about this and how much it feels like being in the woods. And you just don't know what's going to be coming next. And that's our favorite musical, Stephen Sondheim's Into the Woods. And if I was James and John, I would belt out for you that song that Jack and the Beanstalk sings about being afraid of the giant who's after him. So I'm just going to read you a couple of words of it. There are giants in the sky. There are big, tall, terrible giants in the sky. And your heart is lead and your stomach's stone. And you're really scared being all alone. And it's then that you miss all the things that you've known and the world you left and the little you own. And Jack survives because of community, including Cinderella, Little Red Riding Hood, and the baker. And at the end of the musical, they sing, "You are not alone. No one is alone." Oh my gosh, I love this musical. I think I'm going to put a link to it on our YouTube page, the one where Bernadette Peters is the witch. Super good. You're welcome. So thank you for being my beloved community. I see everything you're doing, all the phone calling, all the emailing, all the buying groceries, delivering groceries, all of us trying to figure out how to do Zoom meetings for our covenant groups. I just appreciate so much what you're doing. And thank you for pledging. During this time of uncertainty and concern, our pledges to me feel like unity. They feel like joy. And when we all get back together, we're going to be able to pay our bills and we're going to be able to buy toilet paper for the church. So thanks to the annual giving team too for making it easy to do that. Just go online and be able to click. It was super easy. So I want to say goodbye to you. And I'm just going to pretend that I'm going to go off to a concert or go off to a baseball game. I'll see you later. Be well, be safe. Bye.
John and James will be singing for us in a moment, but just a reminder that as we continue through the week, we have a growing number of online activities and gatherings. You can learn about them on our UU St. Pete webpage or reading our 2 electronic newsletters, the InfoNet newsletter and the Caring and Connection newsletter. Please continue to be very careful these next few weeks to protect yourself and others. Use attention to your breathing, coming and going to relax when you need to. It will help. Call me or Patty if you have something on which you could use a little help or a little support, and we'll see what we can arrange and do. So until next time, peace be with you. Stay safe and stay in touch.
The secret of life is enjoying the passage of time. There ain't nothing to it. All you gotta do is do it. Nobody knows how we got to the top of the hill. But since we're on the way down, might as well enjoy the ride. The secret of love is in opening up your heart. It's okay to feel afraid, but don't let it stand in your way. 'Cause everybody knows that love is the only road. And since we're only here for a while, might as well show some style. Hey, 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 give us a smile. Isn't it a lovely, lovely ride? Oh, sliding down, gliding down. Try not to try too hard. It's just a lovely ride. Just a lovely ride. A lovely ride. Now the thing about time is that time isn't really real. It's just your point of view. How does it feel for you? Einstein said he could never understand it all. The planets spinning in space, the smile upon your face. Well, welcome to the human race. Isn't it a lovely, lovely ride? Oh, sliding down, gliding down. Try not to try too hard. It's just a lovely ride. It's just a lovely ride. A lovely ride. Try not to try too hard. It's just a lovely ride. The secret of life is enjoying the passage of time.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.